Hello, and welcome to my May-June newsletter video update. I have lots to share with you in this video, including an update on my weekly system trades and some new daily system trades that I have opened. If you did miss my last newsletter video too, you can view it from my website or my YouTube channel. Now before I get started, I just need to remind you that I'm not licensed to provide any personal investment advice. This video and all the charts and trades I am about to share with you are for illustrative purposes only, and I'm just showing you how I view the current market, and I'm sharing this with you. So let's head on over to Metastock now and check out what's been happening in the market. On the screen here is a chart of the ASX 200 in a weekly format. Now when we last left it in my last video newsletter, it hadn't broken through resistance as yet. And the good news is it has now. It's managed to push through this resistance line, and it's just hovering around it right now. That moving average line is still rising, and that uptrend line is still in place. And if I move on over to the daily chart, you can see where that breakout happened in mid-April over here. And yes, it has been churning around a little bit, so there is always a lot more noise on the daily chart than the weekly chart. And you can see a little bit of an uptrend line developing across here as well. But the good news is it has pushed up through to new highs, and this is all confirmed in the weekly chart as well, showing that that health is still in place. So let's move on over and check out what's been happening in the US markets as well, with the S&P 500. Now the S&P 500 is just continuing to power ahead. There's just no stopping it. This is a weekly chart here, and ever since it moved into blue sky territory, it's still been powering along. And while it's in this uptrend channel and near the top of its channel line, there has been no sign of it coming back down as yet. And that moving average line is still rising, and the share price is above it. And we've got the steady uptrend line now that has become steeper. And if we go to the daily chart, you can see that uptrend line that I had in place on that daily chart. It doesn't look quite as steep on the daily chart because there's a lot more candles on here. But if I do zoom out, then you can see how it has changed from this line here to that line there. And it's still looking very strong. Now, in my last newsletter, I talked about my two trading systems, and I've been putting a focus on my weekly trading system and sharing with you how some long-term weekly trades are progressing. Because I trade a long-term weekly system that I trade with shares only and in the long direction. And then I have my medium-term daily system, which is my more active system, in which I run a scan on each day, looking for shares that are having a breakout or retracement and getting in and having a swing move. And I actually have a short and a long trade with the daily system to share with you. So let's head back over to Metastock and see what's been happening with my weekly long-term system trades, because I've actually had a couple of stops hit recently and I want to show you how they panned out. So on the screen here is one of the trades that I shared with you last newsletter and have continued to as the newsletters have gone on. This is a share that I have had open since the 26th of October, when I bought into it, when it came up in my weekly long-term scan, started making new highs and broke through resistance. It came up that week and I entered into it the next week. And it's been moving beautifully along, and I bought some more, and I bought some more again. And I have my trailing stop loss indicator sitting underneath the chart, and right now it's continued to move higher and above the $60 mark as well. And my stop loss has also moved higher. And I've just received another dividend of $1.60 per share on this one too. So right now, based on where my stop loss is sitting at $53.74, if I'm to get stopped out of this share, I know that I would have made a return on investment of 56% and an R multiple of 7.5. What I mean by an R multiple is I would have made more than 7.5 times my risk size on this trade. Because when I set out to open up a trade, I always size my trades according to my risk amount. And I want to make sure that no one losing trade exceeds a 1R loss. And I need to get some really big multiple R winners on board that will make me the big money for the year. And so far I've held that trade for 577 days. So there's no reason why I need to exit this trade. So I'm just going to stick with it and let the market tell me what to do. So let's take a look at the other two trades that I also shared with you last newsletter. Now on the screen here is CSR. Now this share has been performing beautifully well, and I also entered this in October 2012 when it broke to new highs and broke above a nice resistance level. It then continued to move very strongly, coming close to my stop loss but didn't quite touch it. It came about a cent away. And then I bought more, end of 2013, and also bought more recently this year. But lo and behold, it's had a surge up, but it has come down and it's hit my stop loss. So on the 14th of May, I exited out of this trade at $3.27. So I've held this trade for a total of 572 days, and I've made a 55% return on the total trade size and an R multiple of 6. And what I mean by an R multiple is I've made more than 6 times my risk size on this trade. So this is one of my big winning trades for the financial year. I've also received some dividends along the way as well. So this is an ideal trade that I'm looking for with my weekly trading system. This one and the other one I just shared with you. They're the ones that I get into, I stay with, I pyramid and I buy more at certain points, and I just stick with them until my stop loss is hit. But sometimes they don't always turn out that way. Remember I shared another trade with you in my last video update, so let's head on over and check that one out right now as well. So this is G8 Education that I entered into on the 19th of February at $4.11 when it broke to new highs in blue sky territory and lined up to take the trade on. Moved up beautifully, and my stop loss did move into profit, but then it fell very heavily and it simply hit my stop. So it was a very short trade for my weekly system. I only held it for 78 trade days and I only made a small 3% return. And I did receive a dividend of 3.5 cents in there, which wasn't a very large dividend amount for the price of this share. But anyway, it just goes to show you that I never know what trade's going to be a big winner. I will get into a selection of trades, and some of them will keep on running, and they're the ones that I stay with. And the other ones I'll get stopped out of. And it might be at a small loss, or it might be at a small profit. But it's also interesting to have a look at other shares that I have open too, because on the 19th of February I actually opened more than one trade. I opened this one, and I also opened another one which is still open and running. So my stop loss wasn't hit on the other one. So I'll just exit this down. So this is another one that I also entered into on the 19th of February. I entered this one at 91.5 cents when it broke into blue sky territory and was making new highs. And I'm still with this one. I haven't been stopped out of it. Even though it's had a nice rise up and a very strong pullback, it actually hasn't hit my stop loss. And that pullback is good because now it's getting support at this area here and rising back up. So I'll continue to stay with this trade and see what pans out with it and keep you updated on what happens. So that's just an update on a couple of my weekly trades. Now let me share with you 2 daily system trades I also have open in the market right now. Now this is a daily chart of a swing trade that I've taken. All the charts that I've showed previously have been weekly charts because they've come from my weekly trading system. So this one came up in my daily scan on this day. I always run my daily scan around 3:30, 3:40 each day because the Aussie market closes at 4 p.m. If something comes up in my scan, which just involves me clicking on my scan here, pressing the explore button and saying OK, and if something comes up that I like, then I'll put the trade on. And this share came up in that scan and I liked what I saw because it had a breakout, it was above the round number of $5, and it also had strong volume. So I entered into it. It then gapped up very strongly, had a little bit of pullback, gapped up again, and has been going sideways a little bit and is edging up to quite a strong resistance area. If I zoom out, you'll see the resistance area from back here. You can see how it's had a lot of touches around here, some touches here, and it's edged up to that 550 mark right now. So I'm happy with how this trade is going, so I've just tightened my stop loss up a little bit. And if it doesn't push through that resistance level, then I will get taken out of the trade at a very small profit because my stop loss is in profit. And I have also received a very small dividend on this share as well, just recently. And along with this share, I also have a short trade open with my daily system, so let me share that with you now. Now here is a share that has been very unhealthy. It has been falling very strongly, had a bit of a pullback, fallen again, broken to new lows, and also through the round number of $4. So it came up in my daily short scan on this day, and I liked what I saw. It had very strong volumes supporting the fall. So I took a short trade on the 19th of May at $3.62. It has continued to fall lower, and likewise my stop loss has also fallen accordingly. So my stop's sitting at about $3.78. So there's still a small loss that is open on that trade. That's just an example of a daily short system trade that I also have open. So I've shared a lot with you today. I've shared a continuation of my weekly system trades and 2 that I have exited because their stop losses were hit, and also a new weekly system trade that I have not shared in the past. And I'll keep you updated on those weekly system trades in my upcoming newsletters. And then 2 daily system trades that I undertook with my swing trading system. And I undertake these daily system trades with CFDs using Trade Direct 365. That's the platform that I use. And Trade Direct 365 was created by a trader for traders. A good friend of mine, Davin Clark, has set up Trade Direct 365, and that's because he wanted to provide a platform that was the best value online CFD and Forex platform. When you can't beat them, join them. So there's lots of things that he didn't like with the CFD providers that were out there, and so he set up his own. And he's taken feedback from people like me and other traders on what we would like in a trading platform. And one of the big things for me was being able to trade more shares short and also use GSLOs, guaranteed stop loss orders. So Trade Direct 365 offer a very easy to use web-based platform, and you can set up a demo account online and try it out. They have very low commissions from only $5 and then 0.07% thereafter. There's over 500 ASX share CFDs with margins from 5% up to 30%, and you can short sell all of them. So you can go long and short on all 500. Plus you can set guaranteed stop loss orders on the top 300 stocks at 0.3%. So if it was a $10,000 trade, it would cost you $30 to guarantee your exit. And they have the tightest 24-hour spreads on FX, commodities and indices. So if you are interested in setting up an account, Davin has put together a special offer that I promoted at the ATAA conference earlier this month. And he said that I could extend this to my clients as well. So if you open up an account before the 30th of June, you will get a $100 bonus in your live trading account. That does have to remain in your account for at least 30 days or until you do a total of 5 ASX CFD trades. And there's the website there, Trade Direct 365. So you can head on over there and find out more about it. And also feel free to download the free demo account. But make sure when you do open the live account, you put smart trading in the how did you hear about us box, because that's the only way you'll get the bonus into your account. So you need to put smart trading in there for that to happen. And don't forget how important it is to have a trading plan. That is the key to my trading success. And if you are based in Australia, we are now coming up to a financial year end. So now is a good time to reassess how you're going as a trader and if you need to update your trading plan ready for the next financial year. And if you don't have a trading plan and you need help, then check out my book Smart Trading Plans. It's available to purchase from my website or in Kindle version from Amazon. And make sure you have a good look around my website. I have plenty of information on here, and you can also learn about my trading systems and strategies through a course that I have called the Smart Trading Plan and System Development course. And that's where I teach you all about my trading systems and my trading plan itself. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. My contact details are in the Contact Us area of my website. And I look forward to sharing more with you in my next newsletter video in July, August. So goodbye for now.